That's the path.
Good, good.
How are you?
I'm good. How was your trip?
Yeah.
To start out, it was terrible. Horrible.
Call the meeting to order. And we have established a quorum. That's mighty feat for us today. Let's do the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joel, any visitors today or comment? Okay, awesome. So let's move to approve the agenda. I move to approve the agenda for today.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, motion passes. And next is the consent agenda. I'll move to approve the consent agenda for today.
Second that.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so let's get on to student presentations. I don't think we have any. They didn't set you with a presentation, right? Okay.
I get one.
I mean, if you want. No, okay. We'll dismiss any student presentations for today. So Mike, to you, the superintendent's report.
Okay, well, my activities for the month of March are listed there. And my highlights are the meeting with CHS staff to discuss the needs of the academic building as we head into the planning for the seismic improvements and also the enhancements for the building, the bond funds. And that was a really good, insightful meeting for both sides. You know, we did get a list of priorities from the staff. We had conducted a survey with students and staff on what was needed in that building. And then in that meeting, the staff prioritized what they felt the improvements should be outside of what we're going to do, the given, like for the new roof up there, and improve and upgrade the electrical stuff and outlets there. Anyway, so we have a list of priorities that we're working from with them. You'll see later on in the meeting that we've hired our contractors for that, our architect and our engineers, for both seismic and the design for the improvements there. And he, our designer, which is Kurt Wilson, now has that list of priorities and he is putting together a design for that building. And we'll start that work this summer. And then we'll finish off the following summer. All the seismic work will happen the next summer, not this summer. And that's basically because of ZCS's schedule. They're just backed up and they got the bid on it with us, and it works out anyway because of the design plans that we need to prepare. And then, yeah, baseball and softball games started on schedule. And our kids even had at least a week more practice time on with softball and baseball than other schools because of all the rain that came. And they could play in the rain.
We get to have an away game. Every game ends up here because they get rained out.
Everybody wants to play here.
Is that why so many at home?
Yeah, every away game's been canceled because their fields aren't playable.
Oh, well, that's convenient for us. Who knew that was a win? Yeah.
Saving money on travel.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to a couple of the games, but I didn't realize, like, I was here about a month.
Yeah.
We've had other schools in the area request our field to have their games on. We haven't been, we would do that, but they've asked.
The money's right. It's open. Saturday. Saturday. You gotta go to the top.
We have the money.
Add another zero and see
We
how
have
much
the money,
we really
the
want
money
our
machine
deal.
is going. You know? So. Anyway, and yeah, Bethany got the IA needs assessment application in, or the IA application in. we got the needs assessment completed through the survey and then also the community forum to kind of bump up or upgrade our current, strategic improvement plan, which goes into the, IA application to get the SIA funding. And she's gonna present that a little bit later. And then you see I moved the things that we've completed into black print. And then what we're working on currently is in green. To simplify where we are with things on all the construction facilities projects. Any questions for me?
It's a lot. I looked at it this morning. And was like, wow, like so much movement has happened. It just seems continuous and it's kind of cool to see this, it's getting checked out.
I have a great team that's working well together. Oh, everything, from the buildings through the district office, it's all working good. And we'll be tested. Coming up here, the big stuff. Bigger
The
stuff.
big one. Okay, thank you very much. Joel already confirmed we don't have any public comment. So we'll move to unfinished business. Our first item is informational, a review of the budget calendar.
So you have that, we had that on the agenda last meeting, and it's just a reminder there so that you have the dates if we, it's just right there for you.
Okay, moving on, new business to approve, an action item to approve the 2025-2026 school calendar.
Okay, I took the draft and sent it to CEA to see if they had any concerns or questions about it. They had none. They didn't give any feedback. All right, well, what I heard was they didn't have any questions or concerns so far. The draft calendar, was developed, with addressing the following criteria. Do the student contact days meet the instructional hours requirements and Division 22 standards and instructional hours for OAR 581-022-1620, minimal instructional hours per year? Does first semester and second semester student contact days balance each other? Really important for teachers, especially where credits are involved, high school. Does the calendar meet the CBA Article 11 workload? Calendar item number 1, and does the calendar show a close alignment with other school districts within Lane County and Lane ESD neighboring districts? Specifically for holidays and breaks. The current draft calendar meets the above criteria in the following ways. Student contact days do meet the instructional hour requirements in Division 22 standards and instructional hours per OAR 581-022-1620 for minimum instructional hours. The draft calendar reflects 173 student contact days for CHS and CMS and 172 student contact days for CES. The draft calendar meets the state ODE required instructional hours for all 3 schools. First semester and second semester student contact days balance each other as follows. Draft calendar reflects 87 first semester student contact days for CMS and CHS and 87 student contact days for CES. The calendar reflects 86 second semester student contact days for CMS and CHS and 85 for CES. The calendar meets the article workload requirements, and the draft calendar reflects 190 teacher work days. It's in close alignment with other school districts within Lane ESD and neighboring districts. Holiday breaks, winter and spring match other districts within our Lane County, and the school year start dates and end dates are in close alignment with all other districts. And the UO probably.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the school calendar? I move to approve the school calendar for 25-26.
I second that.
Any discussion? Your last month should probably be 2026.
Just noticed that June appears to be 2025.
Oh,
Quick typo, not concerned.
thank you.
You're welcome.
That's why it's a draft.
I know.
We take all constructive feedback.
I get the year on for at least 6 months
I
of the year.
knew
so.
exactly what you meant.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our next action item, approval of the integrated application. Do you have anything you want to add?
Well, we have a presentation for you. The show is just about to begin. It's the back of the show, so here we go.
Well, team effort, we'll say, because the integrated application involves a lot of different layers and levels, and a lot of people spend a lot of effort and energy invested in it. I just get to package it and give it to ODE, so it's fantastic. So, tonight we present our district's integrated plan, a key component of our application to ODE. This plan serves as a roadmap for our district's future, outlining strategies to enhance student success and well-being, ensuring we meet the evolving needs of our community. The purpose of tonight's presentation is to formally present the district's integrated plan, and we are here to provide an overview, gather valuable public comments, and seek the board's formal approval of this important document, which will guide our district's strategic direction. I do want to note that we have posted this on our website for public review and comment. It's been up for a handful of days already, and it's also been in your board packet for additional review because it is pretty granular and there's a lot to it. And again, this is going to be an overview of that. So. Our integrated plan focuses on 3 key components: enhancing student well-being through robust social emotional supports, improving academic achievement through targeted interventions, and expanding career readiness through strengthened CTE pathways. Our overarching goal is to create an equitable and supportive learning environment where all students thrive. This integrated plan aligns directly with our district's mission to empower all students to achieve their full potential. This is our mission and vision document that we've had out for over a year. It operationalizes our vision of a collaborative and inclusive learning community by providing targeted support and opportunities for every student to succeed. These pages you see here come from the mission and vision developed with our CSD community, which visualizes the amazing foundation that our integrated plan is building on, which you can also see from the walls. That foundation is part of that as well. The development of this plan was heavily informed by a comprehensive needs assessment, which involved input from students, families, staff, and community members. This assessment identified key areas for growth and strength, allowing us to tailor our strategies to address the specific needs of our district. Our integrated plan centers on 5 key aspects. First, we're going to strengthen our multi-tiered system of supports, ensuring all students receive tailored academic and behavioral interventions. Second, we're expanding CTE pathways and work-based learning opportunities, which connect students to real-world career opportunities and experiences. Third, we're prioritizing social emotional learning, equipping students with essential skills for well-being and success. And lastly, we are enhancing community engagement through proactive communication and partnerships. And we're embedding equity and inclusion initiatives throughout all aspects of our plan, ensuring every student has the opportunity to thrive. Our implementation timeline is structured over 4 years, with key milestones marked for each phase. First is the prioritizing of the foundational elements of our plan, which includes the development and launch of our expanded multi-tiered system supports framework and establishing CTE industry partnerships. Subsequently, we focus on full integration of our social emotional learning curriculum and the expansion of dual credit opportunities. Throughout this implementation, we will conduct regular data reviews, allowing us to make necessary adjustments and ensure continuous improvement. Ultimately, our focus shifts towards sustainability, ensuring these initiatives are deeply embedded within our district's culture and practices. To monitor and evaluate this plan's effectiveness, we utilize a multifaceted approach. We'll track key performance indicators, including student attendance, academic achievement, disciplinary referrals, and CTE program participation. We'll conduct regular surveys and focus groups with students, families, and staff to gather qualitative feedback. Data will be used to drive continuous improvement. We'll conduct regular data reviews with school leadership teams, counselors, and instructors. These reviews will identify areas for growth to inform adjustments to our strategies. For example, if we see a trend in increased disciplinary referrals with specific focal groups, we'll analyze the data to understand the root causes and implement targeted interventions. We will hold regular reviews with community partners to gain insight into the effectiveness of our CTE programs. We will also utilize student feedback to ensure that our programs are meeting their needs. This data-driven approach ensures we remain responsive to the needs of our students and community, and that our plan is consistently moving us toward our goals. So following the board's approval, our next steps will involve finalizing the implementation details and establishing clear communication channels. We'll begin by creating a detailed action plan for each key component of the integrated plan, assigning responsibilities and timelines. We will then provide training for staff to ensure they are equipped to implement those new strategies effectively. We also further the process of strengthening our partnerships with community organizations and businesses. To keep the board and the public informed, we will provide regular updates through multiple channels. These include reports to the board, which details our progress on those key performance indicators and milestones. Regular updates on our district website and social media platforms, which highlight our successes and ongoing initiatives. Newsletters sent to family and community members, providing information on program updates and opportunities for involvement. And of course, community meetings to gather feedback and share the progress on the integrated plan. We're committing to transparency and open communication throughout the implementation process, which ensures that everyone is informed and engaged in our efforts to improve student outcomes. I guess that was an overview. So at this time, I would like to open up for any questions or comments. If you have any.
I only have one. What will the quarterly updates to the board look like?
We use the 5 successing indicators and provide the data as to how we're working against that, but then also the intervention data that comes along with iReady. And we separated reports on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders on track to graduate. How many kids are in dual credit courses, how many dual credit courses we're assigning out. And I mean, all of that data regularly comes to the board in those reports. So it's not like we slam it in at one point at the quarter, but that's all the quarter data. But that's all the progress on quarter data that we continuously bring to the board.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else? Well, with that, if I would ask the board to formally approve this, I can take the next steps in submitting the application.
Very nice. Okay. If I can get a motion to approve the integrated application.
I just can't read the title of it. I don't know exactly what it is, or I would.
Can you read it? Do you want to look at it? Or is it glasses?
I move to approve the integrated.
There you go. I didn't want to say you wanted to make a motion, but you wanted to. I'll second that.
All in favor? All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
It's like
Wonderful,
to
yeah,
have that.
the team effort up here. Okay, that's the movement.
I would, just want to make one more comment about that, IA, and the needs assessment that we conducted with the survey. We got a ton of data from students and staff in our last, survey that we put out. And what we received in the community engagement meeting reinforced what we were hearing from our students and our staffs and our parents. And so that data has now gone to the principals. The principals are processing that data with their leadership teams. The leadership teams will develop strategies and goals with their teams. If it's in math, it's in math. If it's going to be something that's school-wide around culture and climate, they're going to process it with all teams, but they'll come back to us, to the principals in this team, to form the action plans that we'll put in our continuous improvement plan, which is our strategic plan for improvement. So you'll see those goals being formulated, and you'll be updated on those.
Thank you. Okay, moving to our next action item, a motion to approve GMA architects and KPFF engineers for our CTE building project.
Joel, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we had so this particular project, cost-wise fell below the threshold of doing the formal RFP. So we did state of Oregon allows you to do for engineering services and stuff like this. We do procurement, direct procurement. And so we did a modified direct procurement because I still reached out to several companies, received back proposals, and GMA Architects and KPFF were the one that best fit our goals and our needs. We did make sure we were comparing apples to apples with all the proposals. They're both local entities. GMA is a very small architectural firm, Eugene, small like four, 5 employees. KPFF is actually fairly large, but they have a Eugene office. They do a lot of work, civil, a lot of work with 4J, and so well-regarded company.
Can we get a motion to approve and then we can have discussion?
I move to approve that we hire GMA architects and APFF engineering.
Is there a second? Any discussion?
So this is just clarification. This is just for the civil and site prep piece that will allow us to get through the land use review for Creswell. We're in the city limits, so we have permitting and land use review through the city of Creswell. Not really anything dealing with Lane County. We don't have any wetlands issues in that particular area that we're looking at putting in the building. And so this would get us all the paperwork we need and all the information we need for permits, and also would give us the next step would be the actual laying putting the work in and getting the building in place. But this is what your first part you need.
Will we do another one of these for the
Yeah.
actual building?
Exactly. That's why I was bringing that up.
Yeah.
Is that we're saving money in the district because we're actually trying to do a lot of the stuff in-house. Normally you would have a turnkey operation, but you'd be paying a lot of money for that turnkey operation. So we're doing a lot of stuff in-house. So it looks like it's gonna feel a little piecemeal to some extent, but also gives you guys more control, gives you guys more hands-on, eyes on the project as the project's moving forward, which I think is important. And so that's would be the next step is when we get to the point where we're hiring an excavation company and then also hiring a general contractor to assemble the building. And then probably it could be a different general contractor that does the work inside the building. So you're gonna see a lot of these coming along as we move along this project.
I appreciate the breakdown, Joel. Like, I appreciate like the clarification on, and with it being handled that way, I feel like just because we talk about things in such a big way, sometimes like at our, like, kind of what we're seeing is just like, oh, the CTE building. But to know, like, we're approving for this piece and then the next piece, and that clarification you gave is really helpful. I just know that for me, who feels like it's a lot. So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving to our next item is approval of Wilson Architects for our academic building modernization project.
So that's a very similar process, didn't need an RFP for that, but we did do direct procurement, but also still reached out, got several quotes and proposals back. Wilson Architect is also a local company, and Mike already mentioned Kurt, his first name, Wilson Architect. Very capable, came highly recommended. He actually was part of a Pivot, which is a pretty well-known architectural firm that does a lot of work with 4J, lots of work with CDBG and other municipalities. He branched out and did his own thing. He actually has done modernization projects, which is very attractive to us. He's worked with Siuslaw and Mapleton and Oak Ridge, I believe. And so we feel really comfortable with him and moving forward. And that will be that particular one with a similar track. Once we have the lay of the land and the drawings, we'll have to hire a general contractor to do the work inside. This is going to run parallel to the seismic. So there is the potential that you could have we wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but you could have two general contractors working. You could have a seismic general contractor and you could have a modernization general contractor. I'm not saying we're gonna do that, but technically you could, because they're two separate projects, they're two separate funding. So you're gonna see that coming down too.
So Wilson, Kurt Wilson, we hired him to coordinate the entire project.
Yeah.
So when the seismic company comes in to do their thing, we already know the scope of their work. And Wilson already has the map, the schematic of the building and the scope of their work. Now, we have a list of priorities that we want to see happen throughout that building while the contractors are there, while the construction's going on. Kurt Wilson will coordinate that design. So if that wall is going to be seismically improved, it's going to be reinforced. The ZCS is going to, the engineers or the contractor they hire is going to do those improvements, but Kurt is going to say, well, but we want windows across that wall. So when you put that back together, include the windows there. And he'll coordinate that with them to make sure that the project stays where we want it to be.
Can I ask a question? What building is this in reference to? At one point, we were talking like building was like ABC or one.
Yeah, so this would be, it's been called H Hall, it's also the academic wing. And the academic wing includes the new section, the 2003, I know you used to work there, so you know exactly what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't include the 6 classrooms, I had to count in my head, that are in the new section. That's the very front of the building that face mid-block. That doesn't count that section, that's a 2003 build, but there are modernization pieces happening there because the roof for that section will be replaced. So there are pieces happening there, but the core of the work is happening in the academic wing of the H Hall.
Okay, well, that's exciting.
The part 2 of that is the expansion of the front office and the creation of a vestibule there for safety into the school, so that there's a check-in to come through rather than the glass wall. And so we've already talked about moving walls out of there and expanding that space would double in size, front office work. And that would allow a vestibule pathway through that office into the campus so that the campus will be secured from the perimeter.
Is the modernization money coming from the bond? And then secondarily would be the seismic money.
Right.
Are both of these planned to be next summer, not this summer, not the coming summer, but the following summer?
There's what we can do with, so where seismic is coming in is next summer.
Okay.
So wherever seismic is going to be doing their work, we're going to hold off on any modernization projects until next summer when they touch their walls and ceilings and floors. But outside of that is where Kurt Wilson is designing the work that can happen this summer in preparation for the next summer.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor Oh, did we have a motion?
I don't think we
Sorry,
did.
can I get a motion?
No, you need a motion.
Let's try it again.
Wilson Architecture.
I move to.
Wilson Architecture, so many of us today.
I do agree.
That way you can know.
Okay, there you go, thanks.
Yes, I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. We have one more of those. Talk about GMA Architects and KPF for the canopy replacement that we're all very excited for.
So that is all the very similar track, it's kind of a broken record here on that piece. The procurement piece wasn't high enough to do RFP, saves us a lot of time, so we still got references and quotes from a variety of companies. GMA, Architects, and KPF came back with the best quote for that, and so we went with their proposal, which is what's on the table today. As far as timeline for that, similar, we're gonna need to have, a shoe use fabricator once we have the specs for it, and we're gonna need to look at installation. And so when I looked at the timeline, a draft timeline that we have right now for the canopies, we're looking at hopefully getting a canopy built for all the, wherever place there's a canopy missing. We want a canopy put in place, approximately between the latter part of July and most of August, about third week of August, have that being installed. But that's also aggressive because you have to still get through the design and find a fabricator that can give us the steel, and also coming to you would be choosing the general, we would get a general contractor lined up. You guys would be informed of who the general contractor is to install said canopies. The canopies that are in place right now, and this is kind of actually speaks to how these projects do this. They very much connect. The canopies that are in place right now are going to stay in place most likely because they're integrated into the roof. Unlike the gym side, they were not integrated into the roof, so they're a lot easier to tear out. And they had to be addressed for seismic. That's why seismic paid for them to be removed. As it turns out, same thing is in question, and same thing has to happen on the academic side. Those canopies need to be addressed seismically. Our addressing them is to remove them, which means seismic's going to pay to remove the canopies. But we then monitors the bond will pay for new canopies to go back into place. But because the canopies are integrated into the roof, you can't just tear them out. You have to figure out what you're going to do with that roof and how you create now a wall separation that has to be created, a stem wall to be put up in place. So it makes a lot of sense to wait for 2026 for that. It's an aggressive schedule, but speaking with our designers, they feel like they can get the design work done in time for us to get to engineering, or actually to get it to a fabricator and then turn get a contractor installed. So don't knock on wood, but we're hoping for that installation to occur for the canopies that are missing this summer.
Okay, can I get a motion for the GMA Architects?
I move to approve GMA Architects and KPFF Engineering for our canopy replacement project.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. We made it. Okay, so we're on to the trustee reports. Mike, do you mind if you start down there?
No, that's fine. The only thing I've done in a positive light is went to the Laney SD meeting, last week. And I spent 3 weeks in the sunshine before that. Came home to 38 degrees and raining, and that was a mistake.
Oh, thank you very much.
I went to a track meet or two, and a softball game, and a baseball game. All done.
Very nice. Track meets and my IRC kindergarten classes on Friday mornings. So those kids are learning to read whole sentences. I love this time of year.
Yeah, right? It's sunshiny almost, and the kids are great.
And those kindergartners are reading whole sentences like it's no big deal. I was getting excited last Friday. I think it was just last Friday. Like they did the whole book by themselves. And I was like trying to play up like, oh my gosh, can you believe this? Like you can read this whole thing. And one little kid, he's like, yeah, this is no big deal.
Oh.
You know, his arms stretched out like, yeah, it's a big deal. Like, you're amazing. You should know that.
That's very sweet. Thank you very much. So I also have been going to softball games. Practice, I stopped at the baseball game today, so that was fun. Are we gonna have a home track meet? Do we have one?
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
second and 22nd.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will probably go to that then. A leadership meeting with Mike, it was just the two of us this week. And I think that's it, but I did wanna say a reminder, you probably got from OSBA, the 2025 OSBA Advocacy Day is scheduled for April 24th in Salem, if anyone is interested in going.
I am registered to go.
Perfect. And you can still RSVP until tomorrow, I think, if anyone is interested in going. So just wanted to remind you.
I'll be there.
Good, I had no doubt.
Gonna be there with every number I can wrangle out and be like a broken record.
There you go.
It's my mission.
I love it. Yes,
Is
sir.
there a softball game or baseball this Thursday or Friday this week?
Not Thursday, Friday, we're in Glide,
Okay.
but we will be back home
Oh,
very soon.
okay.
Tuesdays and Fridays are our home games.
Tuesdays and Fridays?
Tuesdays and
Okay.
Fridays. Tuesdays are single games, Fridays are always double headers.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll even tell you where we're at. I have already
But
forgotten.
stay tuned because there's rain coming.
Which means we'll be playing here. Because we play rain or shine here. And other teams don't love it, but it's worked good so far for us.
Every game I've been to, it's been raining.
Yeah. And the girls go, are you sure we're gonna play? We're like, yeah. Cause if not, we just move it to another day. So we can just be done. So we're like the only team in 3A not playing today because everyone got rained out yesterday.
That's actually, that's a first, isn't it? I
Yeah.
thought about that, I think you
Oh,
said that earlier.
100%.
When a game that was scheduled to be away had to be scheduled back here,
Yeah,
that's never happened in 27 years I've worked here.
No.
I can tell you that right now. That is actually a really big deal.
yeah, it's huge.
And Creswell's always been known to be rained out.
Yeah.
But it was reversed.
The Muddy Hill. That's what the invite.
Fall down, yeah.
Is there a chance that Friday will be here if it rains at night?
It's supposed to be nice.
Oh, okay.
I know, we asked the same thing. In fact, all the girls asked us today too. Do you think we'll be home? We're like, it's supposed to be dry tomorrow and Friday. So unless Glide's feels real wet, we're not gonna be home. But who knows? You never know what can happen. We live in Oregon. Anything can happen. Tuesday, we're at home versus Harrisburg, so it'll be our first league game. And then we're not home again until Friday, the 25th against Sisters.
What time they start? 5?
4:30, yeah, 4:30. Okay, thank you all. It looks like our next item is a resolution for Teacher Appreciation Week. And, usually Debbie talks me into reading these, so maybe one of you would like to read it. I don't
I don't have my, I don't.
You wanna read it or do you want me to?
Go ahead if you want, I don't have it on my screen.
Okay, all right, I will read it. Teacher Appreciation Week Resolution, whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service. And whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Creswell School Board of Directors proclaims May 5th through the 9th, 2025 to be Teacher Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the Creswell School Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join with it in personally expressing appreciation to all our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Okay, and we're moving to our actually, the last thing on for today is board goals, which I don't think we really have any updates. It's just a reminder for us.
Then we have any board requests. If you have any future agenda items you'd like to request, please feel free to reach out to Debbie and myself, and we're happy to talk about them. One that I want to pitch is, I saw Kendra got an award for like FBLA, Kendra Anderson,
Yeah.
like FBLA Teacher of the
Gina
Year.
Johansson did as well.
And really,
Yes.
it'd be very nice to invite them and recognize them next month.
The whole FBLA group, both at the high school and the middle school students, watched it.
We also have 2 state level officers in FBLA.
Woo.
Maybe they can come too.
Yeah, maybe we can have an
I hope that's-
FBLA day.
It sounded like an FPO.
Yeah.
Love an FBLA. I got to do it.
Just a thought. Other than that, we are officially adjourned for today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.